Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Jordan here with another Warhammer Total War live battlecast. So in this game, let's see, my opponent is playing Bretonnia. So who do I want to play? Let's go ahead and go with King Thorgrim. They don't have a ton of like heavily armored troops, and I feel like his buff will be pretty decent. The leadership and melee attack and all that other fun stuff he provides. So against Bretonnia, I really like the Runesmith. It's just such a good unit, and to be honest, I think bringing two of them, the Rune of Wrath and Ruined is just so good at fending off her ass. And and again, sometimes the Bretonnian Goon Squad will jump one of them very aggressively. So I feel like it's actually cost effective to have two of them, believe it or not. So we're going to mix it up just a little bit this game. We're going to get two cannons. This is just totally out of character for me. And we're going to get a Master Engineer as well. What does this do? Weapon damage. Yeah, probably not worth it. So it's going to be tough. Hopefully he doesn't have a ton of cavalry. I'm probably going to go with more of a low-tier infantry army here. Definitely do not want the great weapons. We get two quarterers, although probably one's fine. I already have like a lot of ranged units here, and you don't want to go too hard on that. And then also these runesmiths in a way are also ranged units as well. So then as far as infantry goes, we can just go with some longbeards mixed in with some standard dwarf warriors probably. That's probably fine. The longbeards, the old grumblers effect is pretty nice to have, and I think with High King Thorgrim, you can usually get away with using more low-tier infantry like Dwarf Warriors because his buffs do substantially raise their combat stats. So we'll do that. And I do want units that have like charge defense against all. Also get a group of Slayers. This has got to be one of the ugliest armies I've had in quite some time. We'll see how it goes though. I feel like, yeah, you don't really need any armor-piercing infantry, I don't think. The cannons hopefully will cover me on that front. I also have the Master Engineer who, believe it or not, actually has pretty decent armor piercing on him. And yeah, maybe it just feels like such a flimsy composition. But let's just go for it, guys. Let's have some fun. So we'll pump some chevrons into my dwarf warriors here. And go here and here and here. Yeah, and I guess the Slayers with our anti-large bonus should hopefully be able to deal with like the cycle diving. And again, that's partially what the runesmiths are for. Oh, I totally forgot I was going to bring a Thane. I guess I would have had to lose the Master Engineer though, so I kind of wanted to see how he plays out with the cannons and the ballistics calibration. He's usually not worth it in my opinion, but I got to mix these games up every now and then and entertain you guys a little bit. So this is a pretty good map for me, and again, I usually this is actually good because I can posture up here, and the cannons here have a really nice angle down in that valley. So let's go ahead and do this, and put this guy here is fine. We'll put him here and put him here. We'll put the Master Engineer in between them. And yeah, he does have armor piercing on his melee attack as well, guys, which is pretty nice. So we'll go ahead and probably move these back just a little bit, actually. A little depth. And I can move them up if need be. So we'll do this here, and we'll put him here, which is looking pretty good. And we'll put a Longbeard front and center. I'm hoping I don't have to like march to my opponent. That's partially what I'm like investing in, is the ballistics calibration, is hoping that even if he does bring some trebuchets, I can still win that engagement. So we'll put the High King here. We'll put a Runesmith out here and a Runesmith out here. So Runesmiths are very good at dealing with Bretonnian cavalry harass and those type of things. So the clans do unite, my friend. So we'll go ahead and put you here. We'll put you here. And what else do I have? I just have some other random junk, it looks like. These quarterers can we'll put them up in the front pocket here. And I have Slayers back here. So we want one Dwarf Warrior in the rear, and he will be supported by the Slayers. Slayers aren't the best answer to cavalry, but we can actually put them in the forest here. Should have a good time being hidden in there. So that's it, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look. He has a pretty big army, 860, but it's not unusual for the peasant-centric armies. Range on these cannons isn't bad either. It's 420. I wish it was as far as the Empire Great Cannon. You think the dwarves who are like the Master Engineers, and I literally have a Master Engineer here. You think he would be able to like build these things to be at least equivocal to the Great Cannons of the Empire? Hopefully that's something they fix in future patches, is buffing Dwarven artillery. I personally think flame cannons aren't that good either. I've tried to make them work. I would show you guys some replays, but it usually ends pretty pitifully. Maybe I'll try it in one of these games. So we're just waiting here. I do have and also when you spread out your army in a wider formation like this, having the two runesmiths with all the buffs actually isn't bad because, okay, so it looks like he is over here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my cannons shooting right at him here. Have you shoot here, and I think that's looking good. So we're going to go ahead and reposition our army actually, the cannons are actually in the army, so I want them to be in group 3, so they position separately, and we'll move up the main force here. So, if need be, I can reposition, send some warriors back there, but the cannons are going to start shooting, and hopefully they'll do some decent damage. So yeah, they're making good contact here, guys. I can't complain. But to be honest, you want them on like Grail Knights and high-value targets like that. So we're going to go ahead and posture just like this. It's kind of tricky. Yeah, because he is advancing with that main force, so I'm going to have to meet them. So what I'm probably going to do is just leave some Dwarf Warriors back here, and I do have the Slayers in the bushes. And this guy with the Ballistics Calibration, I do want those there. So they are going after the Grail Knights, but they're having trouble turning as fast as those guys are going. But let's see if I can get some good contact there. Looks like I'm hitting them, so all right. So that's good. Taking out plenty of those models there, which is very, very solid. Ballistics Calibration still has 35 seconds, so pull these guys, and we'll pull the Slayers over here. We probably want an additional group of Dwarf Warriors here. So I'm going to regroup this, put this guy as my... Oh, did I just mess up my entire grouping? I did. That's always fun. So we'll go ahead, and this is now group 4. And this is my group 1 back here. So I do have these guys here, which is totally fine. Do this here and get these Dwarf Warriors here. So this is okay. So let's actually back these guys up just a little bit. And I think this is okay. So what does he have coming over here? So some troops. We'll get these guys here. And we'll get a Runesmith. Because I don't need much to deal with the peasants, to be honest. Like, most of these troops should be able to handle themselves. So that's okay. The Grail Knights are taking some pretty good cannon fire. But, you know, again, my opponent is adjusting to that. So I'm going to go ahead and switch on to the Lord here. Move these guys over here. And I probably want to engage these forces here shortly. But having High King among this group is going to be good. I'm going to pull a Runesmith back here so I can get the buffs in this engagement as well. And let's see if I can switch onto those Grail Knights. And we'll keep this one cannon shooting at the Lord here. And we're going to use our Ballistics Calibration. So hopefully that accuracy will help. And now I'm starting to actually take a lot of fire from his missile troops. So we'll get the High King in there. We'll get the Runesmith in here, use these different buffs, and use this. All right, guys. So now we're going. I'm actually going to pull my missile troops back here. I feel like they'll be better suited. And I'm also going to start using my Master Engineer to shoot at King Lewin. Those Grail Knights are actually taking a pounding, which is pretty solid. Not complaining at all. So this guy's here. So with Bretonnia, you always got to have your head on a swivel, guys. And we'll use the Rune of Wrath and Ruin here on these Knights of the Realm. We'll go ahead and engage there. Continue. It looks like he might try and collapse this line here, which is pretty stressful, but I'm going to turn some Dwarf Warriors around to deal with it. And this Master Engineer, and the Slayers here might have to jump in on this because he is diving there, which is to be expected. But hopefully he'll take enough damage that, you know, it's not cost effective for him. So we'll have these guys start shooting at Lewin. Hopefully this Master Engineer can generate some good value. And I do have the Dwarf Warriors who actually were able to get in there and do some decent work. So use the damage resistance, and I have lost sight of the Grail Knights. This cannon is offline, which is unfortunate. Let's see if I can go ahead and get them back on their cannon. He might have just destroyed it, to be honest. Man, that's really cost effective for my opponent here. So now we just need to protect this one cannon, basically. I'm just going to have it start shooting at King Lewin and reposture up these troops. Looks like I was able to collapse that line, so I'm going to go ahead and start charging these peasant bowmen back here because they're going to do some pretty good work against me, guys. So right now, let's see how I'm doing here. So these Longbeards are in okay shape. These guys are in okay shape. And yeah, King Lewin, man, he's just such a monster. So he is on one of my guys here. It looks like the Runesmith, which is fine. I'm going to use the Rune of Wrath and Ruin here. Hopefully he can get that off, and we'll get High King Thorgrim on that group there. And all right, so we're doing okay. So this Runesmith here, what do I want to do? I probably want to path him around here. This guy here is doing okay. The cannon is continuing to shoot at Lewin, but to be honest, isn't getting much done. So he did get his engagement back here. This Runesmith here, got to make sure to use the Rune of Wrath and Ruin on these Grail Knights. And we can pull these guys here, and the Slayers probably should pull them back, to be honest. All right, so right now the problem is my forces are kind of getting segmented a little bit, which is a little scary. So let's actually pull these guys back here to keep them together. And this front line isn't going terribly, so it's kind of a chaotic battle, to be honest. But again, Bretonnia forces you to play these type of games. So we'll go in here, which is fine. These Cannoneers and these guys and the Slayers. I do have a decent little defensive pocket back here. Use that damage buff, and these Cannoneers can continue to shoot at those Grail Knights, because those are a very, very expensive unit, guys. So we'll get these guys on, yeah, the peasants, and he's just kind of outrunning me with those peasant bowmen, to be honest. So I'm going to leave those Longbeards to chase, get the king back with his troops. And all right, so I'm able to do pretty well against these Grail Knights over here. Not a bad situation, but yeah, the cycle charging is going to hurt pretty bad, guys. And how's this Runesmith doing? The most important thing is to always be checking for the Rune of Wrath and Ruin. And let's go ahead and pull my troops back here and start to like regroup my forces. Hopefully I can like get a consolidated pocket going and can start to stabilize it a little bit. So with these guys shooting here, and these Slayers were able to run these guys off. So let's go ahead and get him. Let's use the Rune of Wrath and Ruin here. Get these missile troops shooting here. And this Master Engineer, might as well use Ballistics Calibration. But let's get him back with his force here. Go here, here, and he get his beat stick out, and hopefully we'll do okay. But Slayers are going to do really good against these Grail Knights here, which is nice because Grail Knights are such an expensive unit. And now that he retreated his Peasant Bowman so far away, you know, I should be able to do pretty well. So we'll go here, use the damage buffs here, and let's reform our ranks. All right, so now we can just start shooting at these Grail Knights. That should be decent. And the power bar is relatively even, so it's not going terribly for me. And look at this paladin actually going down. So High King here is doing pretty well. Do I have any troops kind of laying around? These guys are actually doing pretty well, and they're breaking these peasant bowmen, so great value from the dwarf warriors there. And Slayers, I do not want Slayers to be engaged in this main kind of battle right here. I feel like it's really combat ineffective. It looks like the cannon crews are still doing a really good job, though, which is pretty funny. So this cannon is still online. Excuse me, guys. Should probably pull this guy back here. Kind of want to keep everyone high and tight right now, because this is where, you know, every buff counts, guys. So we're going to go ahead and use the Rune of Wrath and Rune at those men-at-arms there. Going to pull these guys back a little tighter to the pocket. And this, are their cannons? Their cannons are just completely broken. So yeah, King Lewin, man, he did a great job. Looks like that Paladin is chasing down some of my units, though. Let's get this Master Engineer. I do want him to pull his gun out and start shooting at Lewin here. And let's see if I can just kind of collapse on Lewin. That might be okay. So let's get the Slayers in there. The Slayers are needing to stay over here, though, to deal with this charging. And they're doing a good job at it, to say the least. So we use the Rune of Wrath and Rune here. Let's use our damage resistance buffs, because he is targeting my Lord very aggressively. Let's pull the Lord out of that little area there. Get this cannon just shooting right at Lewin's face. Hopefully his regeneration is starting to wear down. And these Dwarf Warriors, I need to get them back. Let's get them on those Peasant Bowmen there. So check the Runesmiths for buffs. You always got to be checking in these really, really close games like this, especially against faction like Bretonnia. So thankfully I did get my Lord out of there, because Lewin is just the freaking, he might as well be a Slayer, guys. He has the right attitude, that's for sure. So my Master Engineer is in here, not being the most cost effective. Totally okay though. You got to respect him for trying. And I do have Rune of Wrath and Rune, so always a good time to use that on Grail Knights, guys. Can never go wrong with that decision. And the Slayers are starting to cut through these guys. So once I can get rid of these frickin' these Grail Knights and that cycle charging, I think I might be able to stabilize. But frickin' Lewin is just terrorizing my troops. Hopefully these Dwarf Warriors can get in here and start to do some good work. So let's go ahead and get a nice engagement on Lewin. We want to pull the Slayers on him as well for that anti-large bonus. And we'll go here. And let's go ahead and get this guy here. And what do I have left here? Not much, guys. So Rune of Wrath and Rune, let's go ahead and use that on, that's Paladin right there. Use that, use the damage resistance, and let's also pull this guy on Lewin. Because he doesn't have much left, to be honest. He just has like a bunch of low tier stuff. So if I can somehow like cheese Lewin out here, I think I might be able to pull this game out. To use Ballistics Calibration, guys, this is the time for it. And let's use this, because, you know, my Lord Peer is probably going to go down, to be honest. I need to just have him fight and, you know, do his best to finish off King Lewin as well. Because I don't have much left. Oh, I can get these guys back on the cannon, actually. And it looks like the peasants are routing off back there. I do have that healthy group of Dwarf Warriors. So check here, and we want to use this. Oh, the Grail Knights are already broken, so let's go ahead and just use it on these low-tier troops here. And King Lewin, actually, wow, did he just rout off? Okay, so let's get the Paladin. We need to get this Master Engineer shooting at him. That's big. All right, guys, let's get this beat stick going here. And this Runesmith here is doing pretty good. Oh, man, this is a close game, guys. This is really close, and these Dwarf Warriors back here are generating some good value. Fortunately, he still has a lot of like peasants left in the jungle. And yeah, okay, it looks like my Lord did die, but you know, the dwarves are usually okay with that. Man, Lewin, is he gonna come back? He is, isn't he? Gotta get this guy back with the main force. Hopefully my guys can hold the line here. Come on, get there, get there. And he still has a lot of heroic units. It looks like that's a damsel. Come on. No. No. All right, so we got the Rune of Wrath and Rune here, guys. We're doing okay. And again, I do have Slayers, so thankfully, you know, someone will stay till the bitter end. This guy needs to whip out his gun again and start shooting these freaking guys down. That's one situation in which that Master Engineer is going to be really useful, is just sniping enemy heroic units towards the end. And they're all wavering. All right, so let's try and regroup, get anyone. Oh, the cannons are still in line, so if I can get those cannons online, let's go ahead and pressure those peasants. And it looks like these guys are chasing these broken guys off, so let's have them go there. All right, let's get them off the battlefield, guys. There's peasants everywhere. And King Lewin is back. It looks like he's still regenerating. So unfortunately, he hasn't reached his cap yet. And this is where the double Runesmith really shines, guys. It's just so good at like dealing with Bretonian harass. Come on, Dwarf Warriors, you can do it. What do I have left? Looks like some troops here, so let's go ahead and just put all these guys in one big monster group so I can just start zerging around the map. That's what it's come to, guys. Yeah, and it looks like Lewin's just gonna like be chasing down, so let's just have those guys. We'll put them in like group 6, just so they don't path away and they actually do fight Lewin. So he is retreating into the forest here, and if I can get rid of a lot of these peasants, I think I might have a chance, but oh god, he has a really scary goon squad here. So let's reform, guys. We need these guys to be together, because if I'm separated, he's just gonna pick me off here. So let's go ahead and put the cannon groups here. We'll go here. Master Engineer, it's time to snipe. get that accuracy going. And you see he's going to start shooting at this guy here. So we'll use Rune of Wrath and Rune there, and we'll use the other one on King Lewin himself. And you can see any damage you can do, guys. Oh, he might get sniped out of the sky. Come on, one more shot. One more shot. You can do it. Oh my god, it's happening. He's so low. All right, so we'll get these cannon crews. We got to make sure to. For some reason, they're not getting on that. All right, so that's fine. So let's see here. Okay, they're back on it. Oh yeah, this could be it, guys. If I get Lewin, I might have a chance here. All right, great. So this can be my goon squad here. And the cannon's shooting at him. And he's going to collapse on me with those peasant bowmen, but a single Rune of Wrath and Rune might send those guys running. So this guy has really far range. Let's see if he can shoot Lewin too. Goodness gracious. And what does he have? So he has 2 paladins, and they are all eager, which is slightly problematic. So I'm going to see if I can get like a Rune of Wrath and Rune. Although I don't want to send my healthy one. Yeah, I do, because the weak one might get picked off. So let's go ahead and do that. So that cannon's still shooting at him. I just need one really good contact. And this guy has really far range, actually. So I think this is enough distance that I could, like, you know, get away if need be. So let's go ahead and shoot here. And he is in position, and he's going to shoot, and he's not going to make contact. Yeah, and those peasant bowmen, though, have such far range. So I do want to protect this cannon, guys. I feel like it's pretty important. Okay, so I got the Rune of Wrath and Rune off, so we'll pull him back, cycle this other one in, use that on this guy. And yeah, if he comes into not Lewin's range, but the Master Engineer, I should be able to snipe him off. So let's see, is this obstructed right now? Yeah, it is. Why is it obstructed? Is there just these guys just in the way? Let's see here. Maybe we just gotta. Oh yeah, let's get those shots. God, what a battle! He still has a pretty healthy force, but thankfully they're all like peasants, and they're all shaken right now, guys. So I might need to honestly retreat into the jungle, which is kind of depressing, but you know it needs to be done. Let's see here. So I can start shooting here. And what did he use? Did he use stand your ground? So he did. So he's coming at me hard, guys. So just have this Master Engineer take some pot shots. Just have this cannon continue to pressure Lewin. And you see that did a lot of damage. If Lewin like hadn't been regenerating, he might have gone down there. So he's pretty darn low, guys. And if Lewin goes, that whole army collapses. I don't want to charge in there because he still has a lot of armor piercing, but man, he is taken out. And there's not much I can do here, guys. I could just like Last Samurai it and run like into his army. All right, let's see here. At least have that Master Engineer start shooting. So that cannon's offline. So we are going to retreat into the jungle here, and we're just going to take some pot shots with that Master Engineer. Maybe I go like up and around through the jungle so I don't take so much peasant bowman fire. And is he at his regeneration? Okay, so he is. So now any damage I do to Lewin at this point is gonna stick. So come on, get in there, bud. Man, he is running so freaking slow right now too. Look at him. Must be exhausted. Yeah, he is exhausted. So yeah, Lewin's steady, which is good. So I'm gonna pull this healthy runesmith out and try and get a Rune of Wrath and Rune. Because if I can like rout off one of these peasant groups, I think like when, you know, of course when units see their friends routing, they all start to rout as well. So we'll do that, and let's see if I can get a second one here on those Grail Knights, which would be pretty nice. And we'll start to take a shot at this Paladin here, and I do kind of have the cover of the trees to an extent. So let's see. This is a risky gambit here, guys. Thankfully he is armored, so at the very least he's not going to take a ton of damage. All right, so let's go here, and yeah, the peasants are the biggest thing, so that's pretty good. He gets him down, and this runesmith here, I want him to shoot at King Lewin. Let's get him back into the trees just a little bit. You see that shakes him up, guys. And is he coming in with those Knights of the Grail? He is. So I'm actually just gonna Rune and Wrath and Rune him. That might actually just send him off the battlefield. So we're gonna shoot at King Lewin here. If I can get him, that's gonna be really big. So what's his HP right now? So let's see, he's at 620 something. And it looks like he's diving in, which is a really risky play. So let's go ahead and get the Slayers in here. We'll get everyone in. And do I have a damage? Yeah, I use the buffs here. And again, I got to make sure to cycle him. So Lewin is definitely retreating already. He does not want to risk dying and sending his peasants into a panicked frenzy. So the Master Engineer is shooting at him. It is continuing to do pretty good work here. So make sure to move these troops up so they're on top of him. Come on, keep tagging him. What's his HP? 483. So he hasn't made any good contacts. We're going to use Rune of Wrath and Rune on him. Any damage I can do to Lewin is going to be huge. So we'll just target him there. And a lot of the peasants, like, I do have the Shroud of the Trees. And thankfully my guys are still steady, actually, believe it or not. So let's get King Lewin here, and he's still steady, man. He is not wanting to go down, guys. We'll use Ballistics Calibration. Why not? And did he take any HP damage? He did. He's down to 302, guys. That's really big. And keep these Longbeards fighting here against the Damsel. And keep this guy on King Lewin. Pull this guy back. And let's use a Rune of Wrath and Rune for good measure. And he is shattered, guys, so King Lewin's done. So now I just need to finish off these elite units back here. Put this guy into melee mode so he starts fighting appropriately. Thankfully, I do have the Slayers back here. The damage resistance and all that kind of fun stuff. So we'll get this Paladin. Looks like the Damsel is broken. She probably won't come back. So I think the Runesmith and the Master Engineer in conjunction with the Slayers should be able to get this Paladin off the battlefield. And let's see, to always be checking for buffs here. And Rune of Oath and Steel is still up, so I want to like wait till it wears off. And like it just did. Use that. Then continue to fight, guys. Man, what a battle. Never before have I been so happy about having a Master Engineer, you know? And so we'll keep these guys fighting. We'll keep the Master Engineer on that Paladin. Rune of Wrath and Rune here is going to be really good on these peasants. We'll use that on the Men-at-Arms. And hopefully these guys will just rout off, you know? They're out of ammunition. Oh, come on, get that Paladin, brother. Get him. Come on, Dwarfs. Fight to the last Dawi. Oh, and that Master Engineer took him out. That's it, guys. Wow. I think that's going to be one of the coolest games I've played. Just seeing that final showdown there with the Master Engineer and just dealing with the Lewin harass. Very, very cool, guys. So very well played to my opponent, R. Hatch. That was definitely a long, atrocious battle, but, you know, always fun with the Dwarf. So, again, great game. Hope you guys enjoyed that one. And you guys can see the power of the double Runesmith against Bretonnia. It's just so essential, in my opinion. Just an absolute staple. So, again, great game. Look forward to seeing him again. And more content coming soon, guys. Take care.